So today we're doing another disused railway line, but not such a line. It's actually a railway tunnel just right behind me, 1,332 yards in length on the former line between Oldham and Greenfield. Gotcha. So it's very, very swampy, as you can see looking down there. And but I've managed to do it without falling in. I've not even used wellies. I've got Lydgate Tunnel behind me, and this, as I say, is over 1,300 yards in length, and it penetrated right through the hillside below the village of Lydgate, right above us. I'm hoping it should be a pretty simple access and get in, and we'll try and light it up as best we can. So there's the portal. Look, as we stand inside, you can see the little holes for the bats and the security fencing just there. Got these struts, like scaffolding poles, also holding up the wall of the portal from the entrance. And right at the very start, we've got the deposits coming down up, a really like butterscotch kind of colour. It looks like it's separated a little bit in places just here, look. There are a few cracks in the stonework, making the way all the way to the top. And if you follow that line, it does go all the way, gradually getting worse before coming down to the other side where it abruptly stops. There's quite a random thing to find inside, look. The garden bench, of all things. Lydgate Tunnel, that was part of the London and North Western Railway's connection between Oldham and Greenfield at 1,132 yards in length. It was double track, it had a gradient of 1 in 75 climb towards the eastern portal, and the first train passed through on the 4th of July 1856. So let's take a look at railmaponline.com, and you've got Oldham on the left hand side of the map, and you've got Greenfield on the right. You've got the station of Moseley down there, and also Saddleworth is further up. We've even got the Trinicle and Dovestone reservoirs over there on the right hand side. Our Lydgate Tunnel, if we zoom in quite a bit, is just here below the village of Lydgate, and it is perfectly straight apart from a slight curve at the western end. Now, there was originally believed to be 6 shafts built for construction of this tunnel, but 2 of them I believe have been filled in and are no more there. But 4 of them are still on this map from around about the year 1900, and I'll mark them up for you right now. So the tunnel continued its journey as a railway up until 13th of April 1964. So first refuge appearing on the left hand side. The 78 isn't anything to do with the numbering of the refuges. They've got a flat bottom, look. I was in Barnsdale last week and they had a curved bottom, very much like the top, as you can see just there. But this is the flat bottom design, which it makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? After only about 20 metres, you come up with yet another fence, which is conveniently wide open in 2 places. You've got the gate open there, and also that is open just there. And I wonder what this was for, potentially to do with signalling. Is that a base for a signal? The stonework is relatively clear. There's a nice mixture of shapes and sizes in there, and we're all sooted up on the roof. So here's a little bit of something there. Look, you see the colour of the stonework, it's clear, and that's because they've inserted some of these plastic pipes, or they might be made of metal, so they've obviously knocked away some of the brickwork, installed the pipes behind to allow water to come through from the rock behind, and then preventing the brickwork from being damaged and pushed out from behind. And you can see where it has, the original brickwork is laying on the floor there, look. And we'll go over here, and it does carry on for a considerable amount of time. There's something on the ground there to do with signalling. So that's come down. There's no evidence of where that might have come from off the wall. There's some repair works happened there, look, at some point, but it's just crumbled away. And some more evidence of that pipe being put in to allow water to come out and drain down to the track bed. So the drainage is completely blocked up, look, it's unusable. There's some more sections of wood over here, look, laid on the ground, and some workman's gloves. So are they perhaps old sleepers? There is a drain on the other side, look, and that is crystal clear, and I can see the water flowing through it. There's a little bit of a hole in the wall here, allowing a flow of water to come out. So it's some sort of natural spring or drainage from above. I'd say it's probably a natural spring, being how low down we are right now. You can see just up there, look, looking up that hole. So this is the view going forward. I can see reflections from what appear to be traffic cones. You can see the beam is quite prevalent in this because there is quite a mist coming through here. So it's not as crystal clear as these tunnels often are. Another recess on the side there, look. No idea what number that is. More repair work just there, look. Ooh, that looks a bit like a korma gone wrong, or a tikka masala. Let's go and see what's cracking off, because there's a lot of old traffic cones and rusty coloured walls coming up down here. So where this is all fenced off, there's a heck of a lot of disgusting mess. And that is meshed off, you might have noticed on the previous shot. It's meshed off for quite a distance over in that direction to around about there, centre of shot just there. And it's pretty disgusting, isn't it? I mean, look at this. What on earth? So I'm assuming these sections here, what we're looking at right now, is what carried the cables for the signalling. Because every now and then, if I jump back across here, you can see there's one on the floor. And there's also an old bracket just there, look. And they do continue on. There's one right in centre of shot just now, look, and there's another wooden section going all the way along there, so all the way down there. That's what I believe that is for. So a very, very, very narrow refuge, and you notice the hole in the centre again. Now, I've often in the past believed this may have been for sampling, but it is for water being allowed to escape. Look, we can see inside there quite low, can't we? And underneath, just up there, there is another one of those pipes as well. I'm getting absolutely soaked right now. You can see on screen the droplets coming down from all the way up there. And we're still presented with this gunge, and it looks like it's getting quite deep on this far side. And you can see also what was talked about a few moments ago, the cable carriers running horizontally along the tunnel. There's a great big pile of rubble just here, look. So we're probably about a third of the way in, I think. It's very, very wet in here, but it's not dirty water. It's like really fresh water. We've actually cleaned our shoes a little bit since we walked in. See the red brick sat above the stone and all the white marks going all the way over. This is what it looks on the other side. And we've got those runners, look, for the cables coming along here. Another refuge. A bit wider than the last one. Some repair work gone off there, look, on the left hand side. So we've got red brick and then suddenly that stops, but I'm pretty sure it is still brick behind because you see the bits where the soot's missing, it's red brick. So is it a different type of red brick which has actually allowed the soot to stick to this section? Because it's not just that bit, it does carry on. Like you see where bits have fallen off. It's an old piece of wood for something just there, look. Yeah, back up to there, you can still see the red brick, and we take it all the way over to the other side. A few patched up sections of blue brick forced in there, look, where others have fallen out. And then back down to the stonework at the bottom. So having a bit of a tightrope session through them, and my left foot went in. You're fine, the right foot's fine. And it's going to roll over on me. And are we there? We're here.
How do you get back?
I don't, I live here now. And here we go, we found the very, very first shaft. So it's very, very wet.
Oh God.
But it was very worth going through that orange gungy mess that I've just... God, that's beautiful, isn't it? Look at the light reflecting off that. It's almost like it's full of Christmas lights. And there's the marker for the shaft, look. So DFT, Department for Transport, I believe that is Oldham Tunnel number 6, or it could be classified with the bridge numbers as well, shaft number 1. And quite a healthy flow of water going through there, isn't there? Through that drainage system. So that's working a treat. See this refuge here, look, it's just bare rock. It doesn't look like it ever was bricks. It's just been carved out, look. Look at that, it's like slate, isn't it?
I think it's shale.
Look at that going across there as well. That's quite extraordinary. Got another one of those carriers just there, look, for the beams which are laid on the floor. It's looking somewhat curious down here. There's some great big piles on the right hand side. We can hear running water. There's another refuge there, look, with a curiously patched up bit of wall just there. Carry on going forward. There's some water flowing there, so that might be what we heard. It's gone very squidgy just here as well. Now there's the great big mounds that I was on about. It's a load of bricks, isn't it? And there's a shaft coming up. So there we are, it's shaft number 2. That's going to be the second one along this route. I managed to get myself on top of this rubble. If I put that on, you'll be able to see it better. You can see the shaft marker, shaft number 2, is just through there. Zoom in a little bit for you. That's good, isn't it? Okay, let's pull back out again and I'll show you the shaft again. And there's a lot of dripping water coming down onto the track bed, look. So let's push on forwards. There should be another shaft down here. So we've passed the second one, which means we must have done pretty much halfway. there or thereabouts. Another refuge there, look, which is quite a combination of stone and brickwork. And you've got the red brick arch going over there. Cable runners at the bottom. And it's very, very dry at the moment. It was quite squidgy back there around the recess. Shoes are a little orange, but I know I'll get them cleaned up at the other end where the fresher water is. And a slight trail of copper-coloured residue and water. Look at those up there. As you may have noticed at this point as well, it's getting very, very black. There's a lot of soot still on the roof, on the sidewalls, on the archway, which is not allowing me to light it up as well as I can do. I can see another great big pile of rubble down here, which I'm going to assume is the next shaft. And my explanation for these piles of rubbles we keep finding at the shafts, I think it's the shaft tops which have been demolished on the surface, and the rubble has just been chucked down the holes before they've been capped off. So in case you've been wondering what happens to the cable runners and the carriers when they get to the refuges, we've actually found one intact, look, and they go underneath. And I've been in tunnels before where usually they're hooked up and bracketed over the top, but not in the case of this one. Lydgate Tunnel does it very, very differently. So there's the third and final shaft, look. It looks a bit different to the other two. It's got some supports there, look, holding up that brickwork. I've never really seen that before. It don't look like they've been there more than a decade or so. And a bit of red brickwork and that piping coming in. Shine the bead there, look, you can see the rubble again on the floor, which would most likely again have come from the top of the shafts when they was capped off. This refuge is all bricked up, look. I wonder who lives behind there. Absolutely no one. There used to be the marker on the side as well telling us its number, but that is a little bit further down. And we've got shaft number 3 written on that one, look. Department for Transport. And here is all that rubble, look. All sorts of bit of mangled up metal in there as well. And the bricks, plastic, all sorts of discarded rubble. And there's a refuge right behind, look. Couple of areas of patched up brickwork in there as well. Now we've gone back to stonework all the way from the surface, look. Right, all the way to the top and over and down the other side, so the brickwork has disappeared. So it's probably going to help us light it up a little bit more now because it doesn't appear as dark as it once did. So that's the fourth shaft just there, look. Get a load of that. I thought there was only 3 to begin with, but there's actually 4. Bit of a patchwork job there, look, and there's more of those pipes, but look at this. It is absolutely flooded. It's extraordinarily deep. All the way across. Take that light away. See, that looks hard there, but you're only going to get so far. So we're only a short look. You can see the end of the tunnel there. It's not far at all. Richard's made it down because he's got wellies on it caught to his thighs. So yeah, another angle of the floods. Look, you can see it. The beam. It's looking at it all now. It goes all the way across. You can just make out the pile there again. Look, that's where the shaft on ground level has been demolished and chucked down the hole, has scooped over to one side. It does add to some effects though, doesn't it, on the actual photo and the video. So we're making our way back now, nice and slowly. We've still got the gunge to go through. I'll do a bit more footage and I'll see you when we get out, hopefully at the other end. So as we exit the tunnel, heading back to where we began, I want to thank you for watching very, very much. Please like, subscribe and comment below. Also thank you for Richard for going just beyond that final shaft that I just didn't have the relevant footwear to do on the day because it was a last minute thing to come here. So thanks very much for that footage that you would have seen a minute or so ago.